Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you guys. If Paul, Austin, and Trung all vet for you guys, and I'm pumped. And I just saw Gene. I'm happy to see Gene on the call too. What's up, baby? But yeah, guys, I appreciate all taking time out of your night to do this. I know some of you are on the East Coast. I know Dave's on the East Coast. So Dave, thanks for getting on. But guys, I'm really excited. And I know that if Paul really is taking this next step forward, it's pretty intense. One of the things that really impressed me about Paul is that, you know, we've heard about each other over the last 2 years. And he came to the event about 2 or 3 months ago, and it blew me away that he was the only person in the room that asked like 1 million questions. But he was just very analytical with the questions, right? The caliber of the question, because he understands that if this thing was sustainable, if, you know, these questions could be answered properly, then we have something magical on our hands. So a little quick background on me. Been in the industry for about 4.5 years. With my teams, I've collectively done over $250 million just in the last 4 years alone. So I'm very, very blessed, very, very lucky. I met amazing people like Trung and Austin early on that opened up so many doors for me. So I can't say it was all me, but what I can say is that I have a lot of experience when it comes to Forex MLMs. The last company I was involved with, we consulted for it and literally took it from dead to now they still have about like 80,000 active customers in the last 2.5 years. So I walked away from that about 7 months ago because I met this magic guy on here named Quicksilver. And when I saw the software, I thought it was kind of like what Paul said. It didn't look real, right? I tried it out for myself, and then it blew me away. I let Trung try it, blew me away. I let some other buddies try it, blew them away. And I was like, oh my God, I got to make sure I'm a part of this. So I was very, very lucky enough to, become partners with Dave. So that being said, I'm one of the owners. I'm the current standing executive vice president. I'm here to help you guys all build, even though you don't need it. First and foremost, and I'm going to shut up right after this, is that all of you, I'm sure all of you guys are very successful marketers, but putting all that aside, we're probably the first network marketing owners that will tell you that just using the product alone, it'll change your life as a customer. So if you decide to do something after that, amazing. But just let the product do what it does, and Benjamin will deliver. So it's a pleasure to meet you guys. If any of you have any questions, I'd like David to introduce himself real quick, and then we'll go from there. So.
All right. Thank you, Hassan. I don't really know where to go with this, but I'm a trader and I win, and that's it. That's it.
Hey, Dave, could you tell the story of how you got started? That's a really cool story, maybe for these guys to see a little background, and then we can talk on just some of the software right now.
Sure. I got started years and years ago without getting too much into how old I am. But I got started many years ago when I kind of was I owned a couple car dealerships, small ones, and I always was interested in the trading market, so I always kept my eye on it and invested a couple dollars here and there. No real knowledge, no real training, but my brain is kind of wired for charting and things like that. And I was following, the heating oil and gasoline inventories and things like that way back when in the late 90s, early 2000s. And what I ended up doing was just keeping a mental note of exactly where certain positions where the commodities markets were at the time. Well, I call a friend of mine in New York, he works for a hedge fund. His name is Rob. I basically, I called him up and I said, man, everything is setting up perfectly with this heating oil trade. It is going to tank. And I thought it was going to drop a couple points, maybe 100 points, 200 points, even 300 points. But, heating oil, the floor fell out of it the night after my friend made the trade. Well, he put $1 million because he's worth, a couple $1 billion. He put $1 million into the trade because every trade I've given him prior to that I said I had a feeling on panned out well. So he put a lot of money into that trade. I guess he saw it good as well. Well, 4 hours later, the trade, his $1 million turned into $174 million. So then he calls me up and he says, hey, come to New York. I want to talk to you. So of course, when someone with that kind of clout and leverage and money and everything, and just a good friend tells you to come to New York, you do. So I jumped on the plane, got to New York. And the first thing he did when I got over to his house, he hands me an envelope. I open it up and he gave me $11 million for the tip. So I took the $11 million and said, you know what, done with the car business. I just want to start learning to be a professional trader. So I started trading. I started writing my algorithms and started thinking about the route that I wanted to go in my life. And I started failing miserably for 3 straight years after that. I had all these great ideas, but I just kept losing money every month until eventually I got to the point where things just clicked. Everything just made sense. And after a few years of losing, I went now it's probably 17 years, but 16 years in a row where I haven't done worse than tripling my own account every single month. So it's a really interesting ride, but it's gotten to the point where trading is just gotten to be second nature. So that's kind of my backstory.
So tight.
That's pretty unreal. So can you explain to us, now that you've been doing this for a while and obviously you can win, your background, I guess you started to work with some hedge funds at points in times. You were trading there. And then how did this all evolve into what it currently is?
Well, I started working for Platinum Partners Hedge Fund, the second largest hedge fund in New York. It got to the point where, they put me in charge after I proved myself for a little bit. They put me in charge of the New York State Prison Pension Fund. So I was in charge of trading the pensions, at least a chunk of the pension fund for New York State prison boards. So what I ended up doing was working there for a while. And what I noticed was, I got a salary, and the amount of money that the hedge fund would give back to its investors was 20% per year. Well, I always made hundreds of percents. I mean, 300, 400, 500% per year on the money. So there's there was never a time where we didn't get the 20%, but the only money that the investors got was 20%. So eventually it got to the point where, I made my salary, I got my commissions, I was making good money, but in the end I was watching the fact that these people were putting a lot of money in and getting good returns, but we were making all the money. And eventually it started coming to me there, you know what, I think I'm going to trade on my own. The same money I was making over there, I'm able to just use my own money and make the same thing without actually having the stress of having to deal with people's pensions. So and then my brain kind of wrapped around the idea that, if I can help help a little guy that needs to help make a car payment or needs to help make a rent payment or just pay the electricity, even if if they don't have much money, I can still help the masses by helping volumes of people by creating something in an automated form. So that's kind of the way it went. And then when I was brought on to SilverStar, when I decided to do it, initially I was just doing live trading in a chat room where I was just there and people were just copying what I was doing. And for I did it 3 months in a row before we found out from that the regulations were that I couldn't be giving signals. So I was trading for 3 months and tripled my account in the trading room at SilverStar for 3 months in a row. So it was pretty interesting to do. It was fun, but I then began thinking about an automated way of doing things, and that's when software came out. So that's
okay. And so I've heard rumors, personally I haven't really gotten this from you, but I'm assuming them to be true. The fact that you so when you developed this software, you took this software and actually started licensing it out or selling access to the software to people for quite a hefty price tag.
Yeah,
can you talk about that? Or
it was a different software. It was in the futures market, but it was the same algorithm. It was the same algorithm with a in a futures setup with an interactive broker setup, and I was charging $50,000 to get started, and about $3,000 a month to for me to just watch it. And that was kind of what I was doing at that point. But again, that's people with in order to trade the futures market, you can't start with less than 100,000. So it's certainly worth it for them to plunk down the money.
Okay, fair enough.
What would you say? Let me just
okay.
drop something in real quick, Paul. What would you say is pretty feasible right now for these guys, Dave? Like as far as returns are concerned and maybe what they could look for or expect? I know we got to be careful with expectations, but I mean, what do you think it looks like for these guys?
Well, let's look at it like this. You have complete control of your software. You can open it up and get as few or as many trades as you want. On the conservative settings, we haven't had less than 10% per month on the most conservative settings that we've had. Generally speaking, like this past week, we only had the software on for 3 days, and most people got anywhere from 4 to 10% in 3 days. So it's kind of there's no real number that I can throw out there, but I can tell you that your account's going to grow exponentially by just, even if you keep it on the most conservative settings.
And can we talk about how, on average, like you don't really, you have this gift now, and more than a gift, it's a skill set that you've developed over the years. I find it funny that you're technically the 93rd smartest person in the world, and even you had to pay for this financial education, or in this case, like the type of emotional muscles to trade well. That even you had these losing months. And so it's like, for a lot of people out here, we don't have, not only do a lot of people not have the same mental processing capabilities that you have, but a lot of us don't even want to learn how to trade. And so that's where we find this software so just capable and awesome. But I guess the question that I had is, I mean, if we're talking returns in other markets, or even just in let's say real estate per month or anything, I mean, I've never seen these types of returns ever. Is there anything outside of, the software that you develop here that really can see these returns out, besides your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that can do it is if you just happen to get lucky and hit a niche market in something and open a business that just takes off and it doesn't cost you much, or you invent a pet rock and people pay $1 million for it. But it's, there's a lot of things that could happen. But as far as, to put it to you like this, Jimmy, it's, sorry, why am I an idiot? Warren Buffett Warren Buffett has never made more than 20% per year. So, on his investment returns. So, again, it's a little easier for him when you're at a starting point of a few billion. So, but the point is that most people are extremely happy with 20% per year. And I would probably hit myself in the face with a ball peen hammer if that's all I got.
That's ridiculous.
What would you say, Dave? We've gotten to follow these last 4 or 5 months as you guys have continued to build out the software and just add more to it and really work out the hedging feature, which is super cool. Maybe if you could touch on the hedging and how that's working now, because I know that's the most important piece here with the software just performing month over month.
Oh,
what your confidence is now in where the software is currently at.
I don't think I could be more proud of Benjamin the way it's been performing. It's what happens is I used an artificial intelligence that watches over my algorithms only on the hedging part of the software. What that means is it makes a smart decision. It makes a smart decision based on the market, and the market will dictate obviously when the hedge should come in. But my algorithms try to make a smart choice for either hedging or cost averaging the trade. The AI looks at not just the 1 and the 2 minute charts. It looks at at the 15, the 10, the 15, the 1 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, and daily charts. Looks at the high volatility market events and makes a decision really, really quickly as to the perfect spot to get the hedge in. And knock on wood, anybody who's been using the software for the last several months has not seen one losing trade. And when I say no losing trades, I mean there are trades that go negative, but the hedge has managed to break even on every single one of them. So it's almost unheard of to trade for months at a time and not actually have a losing trade. And I don't consider break evens losing. Some people do. It's semantics, but some people will look at it as, okay, well, Benjamin was wrong. It took $125 loss. Well, if you look at the time, at the exact same time as that 125 loss, it took a 125 gain. So it's if you can go through and look at it, I can run you a back test that'll take 45 seconds now and show you the exact same thing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Wow. Actually, that would be really cool. And on a side note, Trung, if you have the app or anything, like for in layman's terms, what hedging really looks like is just the fact that you're protecting your assets. The reason that most people don't do well in trading is not because they don't make a few good trades, but it's because over time they're losing more money than they're making, right? Or they make one bad trade where they made 10 good trades. That one bad trade outweighs, the overall amount that they're going to make through time. And so really they're losing traders. The hedging really is just to protect you. So for example, if like I went in at a certain position and I lost $130, the algorithm and the software are so intelligent, right? To the point where the moment it sees that it's not going to go the way that it should go or the way that it thought it would go, it'll place an equal trade on the downside. So that way you're always protected whether the market goes up or down.
I have a question. And I'm not sure exactly how you explained how the format was supposed to go, but the question that I do have is, because me personally, I've never traded before, and I really don't have the knowledge of trading. So like me just being a part of this call, it kind of sounds like if I was to like talk about sales funnels to somebody who's not really in tune to marketing, there's a lot of jargon. Yeah. So from a consumer standpoint, how can I articulate in a simplified form to somebody like your ending goal of this company for somebody who's not already actively trading? Like, let's just say Sally down the street is trying to make some extra money or some extra income. Like, how can I make it more simple without all the jargon, if that makes sense?
Yeah, you don't have to actually even bring up any of the technicalities of hedging or anything like that, or cost averaging or anything to do with that. It's just what you do is you just invite them to the Facebook group. You let them talk to other members. You see the results that people are seeing, and you just explain to them very simply that you can try it's an automated software that trades money, that trades your money for you. And you don't have to have knowledge of the market in order to do trading. You set your software up and you just let it go. And you can monitor it anytime you want. You can look at it anytime you want. You can stop it and pull your money out anytime you want. In fact, you can even start with fake money. You don't have to use real money to even try it out at the beginning. You can do it with a demo account and not risk 1 cent. So it's I think it's a pretty easy sale. I mean, if people like free money, then that's probably what
I got you. So yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out how to go ahead.
And to interject real quick, buddy, a really good thing as well is, are you familiar with who Russell Brunson is by chance?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I have to ask. I'm not trying to.
No.
I know. Which I'm glad you are. It's a good thing. You'll see right now why. So our master distributor is my really good friend Adam Winning, and Adam created 2 separate funnels with Russell Brunson. He flew down to Boise just to get it down because he's in Russell's inner circle. So one of the webinars, believe it or not, that Adam does every single week, he does it live weekly, which is also recorded in everyone's back office. For the average person that knows nothing about Forex, literally will sit there, watch the presentation. By the end of the presentation, they're either going to sign up right away, or they're going to ask you, okay, I have a couple of questions I'd like to sign up, because he takes you through this whole psychology breakdown of like, here's Tony Robbins, in his book, he talks about this and your bills and this and that. This is what 1% looks like in your bank and all that. This is what we have. It's called Benjamin, so a Forex life hack. You don't have to worry about all this Forex stuff. So I would recommend that Trung, Paul, or Austin can send you that video tonight, and you can watch it tomorrow when you're free, because I know you're probably busy. But I promise your question will probably be answered in that video, and you'll have a lot of confidence with that.
100%. And I know Adam Winnick. I was at one of his events. The guy's brilliant. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's just kind of like just being from a very simplified form, how to kind of introduce people. So I guess you'd say the best way was just telling people, if you're just looking for an extra income, or if you have some side money to play with to invest, right? Check out this webinar. Simple.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes.
Could you, Dave, could you take us through that back test?
Sure. Let me open this up. Make sure I don't have one of my other traders on here. Oh, I do actually, so I need to change that.
Trung, were you showing us trades from this week?
No, yeah. Well, I was just trades from the week, but I was trying to show you guys these hedge trades that I had too.
I can show you in the back test here exactly what the hedges will look like, and it'll be exactly what Trung would show you on the actual live. But let me go ahead and share this with you.
It looks like we have about 9 minutes remaining on the call. So if anyone, while they're running that,
I
I
can
was going to extend it. We're good, Paul.
okay, cool. Just making sure.
just shoot me $15, Paul.
Okay, dude. I mean, honestly, it's just like not even a quarter of a trade. So sure.
By the end, I should see a cash app. Yeah. All right.
Do you see the screen at all, or not?
Yeah, we see it.
Perfect.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so what we have here is, let's just say you take Benjamin on a $5,000 account, run it from November of 2017 to November of 2018 on the most common pair, Euro US dollar, and then just get it started, because it should only take about a minute to run through. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to run through the year. It's going to take about 45 seconds or a minute or something. It usually runs a shade slower when you're on a Zoom call, but it doesn't take long at all. So once this is done, I'll be able to go through the drawdown, how much it actually, how the hedges actually work, the time it takes for the hedges to get in. This will give you a real accurate description. The funny thing is this is exactly on this back test. This is almost exactly how it's been running live since I've introduced it to the nearly 1,000 people at SilverStar over the last 3 months. But
and this is just one pair. I mean, you have 7 pairs optimized right now, right?
Right. We have 7 pairs optimized. This is one pair that's going to run for the year. It's not
to just interject, guys, real quick, for those who don't really know much about that, or those in the future that are watching this video, a pair is simply US dollar against the euro, or maybe the GPB, which is the pound, right? So it's all you're doing is this thing is a pair, is those two that are paired, basically. Different currencies for those who don't know.
Yeah, this is basically showing a trade on one specific currency that it's trading against. So it's pretty. You're basically, you don't have to know any of this stuff because the software will do it for you. But it's pretty good. It's you're not going to have to know a lot. You'll just let it run and see.
And you got 7 done right now, and you're still working on continuing to add more, right?
Absolutely. And there's also, we're just debating whether or not we want to add more pairs or just tweak the settings to give more trades on the ones that are here, because you can always make it give you as many trades as you want. It's just a matter of trying to avoid getting into as many long trades as you can.
Yeah.
So that's the key to everything is, the length of trades. I like to keep them down.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's only it just takes it takes a lot longer on the a Zoom, because I guess anytime it's broadcasting, it just slows it down a bit.
Hey guys, it's Gene. I've been trading for about a year and a half now, of which the whole year that I've been trading for was like hell. And then my boy Trunk showed me this auto trader, and I'm like, okay, it's just an auto trader. So for the other guy too, I forgot your name, bro, but you were asking about basically how to explain this to people without like knowing a lot of the integration. It's all it is. It's an auto trader. But the amazing thing about it, which also quick, I do have a question about it, but it's the fact that it does have AI, which it learns by itself. And it's the hedging. So all auto traders, I actually haven't seen an auto trader that has hedging. All of my trader friends do have auto traders, but they don't have the hedging option available. So that's what makes this like the Tesla of like the cars, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's certainly good.
To be honest with you, that made it that did simplify it, and just by saying it's an auto trader.
Yeah. All right. Well, so basically on this one, see, this is one of 7 pairs that it's going to be trading at the same time. So the return that it made on this particular pair is 1 of 7. So typically on average, it would be 7 times the return of this would be what your annual return would be. So this went from 5,000 to 7622. And to give you, let me just open this up here. So
Jeez, that's ridiculous.
To show the history. In this particular case, it's actually very funny. The very first trade it took was what would be deemed as a losing trade. So if you look at it, it made the trade right here, the very first minute. At this point right here, the system said, oh, it's not looking too good. So let's cost average this one out. So what it did was it immediately took $116.40 loss at 8:52 and 28 seconds and took a $123.60 gain at 8:52 and 28 seconds. At the exact same time, it took a win and a loss and just broke even on the 2 trades. Then it went through and took its normal $100 win, $97 win, $99 win. And then finally, it, like right here, it realized it was going to lose another trade. So it took a $123 loss, and at the exact same time, at the exact same moment, it took a $129.78 win. So the loss and the wins happen at the exact same moment, so that every single time that there is a loss, there is a corresponding win. Even if it doesn't get it right on the cost average, I'm going to see if there was one that it needed a couple to work. Sometimes it does. Here you go. Perfect example. Here's one. It made a trade right here. It realized that it wasn't going to win, so it placed a cost average trade. It realized that the AI at that point said, oh my God, it's still not going to win. It doesn't look very good. So it took another trade to cost average what it would amount the cost average, but not fully. So what happened is it took a $338 loss. It took a $34 loss, but at the exact same time, it took a $377.01 gain at 14, wow. this, and this. So it was able to, at the exact same time, break even on that long draw, on that big, ugly trade. So then it just continues to go on, even though the vast majority were wins. When it did take a loss, like here, the exact same time it takes a corresponding win. The same exact thing here. Here was one where it didn't necessarily get the hedge right. It took a second hedge, took a $374 loss, a $38 loss, and then at the very next trade, at the exact same time it closed it out, a $418 win to break even with the exact same amounts. So the system is designed to break you even on losing trades and win all the winning trades, because typically in trading you need to win about 8 trades for every one you lose in order to break even on average in the Forex market with normal trading systems. So it's not usually a very profitable thing to get into the Forex market just because of how many wins you need in order to be profitable. But that's kind of, yeah.
It's cool how with this one too, Dave, because it's done all by the algorithm, by the computer, it doesn't get worried. It's not like emotional if you have a big account, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
$1,000 versus, 25,000. It doesn't make any difference.
No, there's no issues. It's you can look at a lot of people who have larger accounts online that are posting their results, and you get a little nervous sometimes if you're a human being, just like any human would, when you start seeing a trade negative. But the other day during this volatile market for over the last week, because there's all sorts of there was all sorts of Brexit talks, the Australian and New Zealand dollar versus the Chinese versus the Chinese tariffs and everything else. Everything was going crazy in the market last week, and then with all the open market committee speeches, I mean, the market was insane. But so many people texted me before they went to sleep, and they said, "Oh my God, Dave, look at my account. It's negative, and on the Australian versus the Japanese yen. What am I going to do? I said, just calm down. Let Benjamin work." And every single person woke up in the morning with their account hedged. So it was if anybody can look at it and see it does the exact same thing. And what's really impressive about this is as you're looking at it, this is a very interesting number. You see this 6.35% right here on the screen? Well, that means it's a balanced drawdown maximal. What that means is it only uses 6.35% of your balance to earn that kind of return. So basically going from 5 to 7,500, it made a 50% return, but it only used 6.35% of your money in order to get that $2,500 profit.
Wow.
So basically you weren't really taking massive risks there. So, it's a very interesting thing, but as you go along, the vast majority are wins, and that's it.
So cool.
And then also I'd like to show you guys something real quick. Just so if you're wondering like, is the historical data accurate? Just so you know, in trading, it doesn't get more accurate than historical data. Like when you're creating bots, you're creating softwares, you need to test it on real world market conditions. Like Dave could take this thing all the way back to 2008, 2010, but you get the point. So I want to show you guys something real quick. I'm going to share my screen.
Let me stop.
This is one of the clients' accounts that I manage. Austin and Trung know him. His name is Rich Young, very successful, multiple 8-figure earner. He lives in Tacoma, Washington. And I do this for some of my clients that I know if I manage their account because they're so busy, they'll bring us business, which they are doing. So this is on a live account, but I want you on about $20,000. I want to show you guys something. It doesn't matter about the amount of the money. I just want to show you something. If you look at like right here, like what Dave was talking about, and you guys can see my screen, right? Everyone can see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. So if you look at this like trade right here, like look at this. On a live trade, a USD JPY traded negative 134. And then look at the time slot. Literally right behind it, USD JPY 136. So you actually profited $2. And it's about, like he just said, about how you mitigate that loss. If you keep going down, same thing. Like right here, and there's a bunch of wins in between it. I don't care about the wins, but look at the losses because that's what's important. Look at this. AUD JPY, negative 375, and then try to cost average out.
That's the trade I was actually telling you about. Everybody was crying about that.
And then look at it right there, like Dave was just saying, on the historical data. This is on a real account. It's not a joke. Look at this. It says live right there, live, right? Positive 421. So if you keep going now, this was in November, this month, you can tell it went crazy. There wasn't even one win. And this is still on very conservative settings. So he did about $1,200 or almost like $1,300 in about not even a month, just so we can be clear. I want to show you guys something cool. Look at this. Look at the dates. Look, it says 10/17, right? Let's count the actual days that he wanted his software trading. Watch this. 1, there's 17, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On 9 days that this software traded, it made almost $1,300. That's how insane this thing is. So I just wanted everyone to see that.
And that's really conservative with that 20K. I mean,
correct. Very conservative. Very.
That's extremely,
fast pace. So.
On a side note, for those like that are watching this video, or in the future now, currently, you're seeing that back office design because like that can look intimidating for a lot of people. You just got to understand that you don't actually need to understand any of that stuff. There's a service that we're going to offer as well as training. I'm assuming the people that you get started with will be able to just kind of help you set that all up, and literally it's done. And all you got to do is look on your app and change a few things here and there. But a lot of the times, even in these very volatile moments where a lot of news is happening, Quick himself will even just shut down the entire server. So you don't even have to worry about that process. Really, all you got to do is click into your app, check it out, and just watch the profits as well as the hedges on a daily. or whenever it's placing trades, which is really cool.
And something quick and Hassan also went and did is they partnered with Forex VPS. So with this company, now we have unlimited bandwidth and we have really optimal speeds. So we're able to enter and exit trades at very efficient times. But for the easiest, like the newest person who doesn't really know how to install things, when I first began, it took me like an hour to walk someone through the entire process, at least like a minimum. Now, when you buy the virtual private server and you pay that monthly fee of, I think it's like $26.99, right when you download it, it comes with the software, it comes with the 2 brokers, it comes with everything that you need on there already. So that cuts the time, and probably like 75% of the time that you should have spent on there, you can actually just hang back and kick back. So it leaves a lot less room for error. So it's cool that you have that mitigated into the systems as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got one more, and then maybe Paul, you can open it up for questions if you want. But just an easy question to ask for Hassan and for Dave. Just with the company moving forward, things are working really well right now. But the question just being like, you know, how can we be confident that things are going to continue to work well just moving into this next year? And especially if we're going to be building this and bringing friends and family on and their money, like, of course, we want to be confident, and would just be cool, Hassan or Dave, if you could just touch on just like any potential issues you see moving forward, or like, are there any blind spots? I know you guys have worked really hard to get to where we're at right now and are really confident, but if you could just touch on that, would be cool.
I could tell you one thing, that one of the benefits, as there are three owners of the company, and I'm one of the 3 owners of the company. We all own equal parts of it, and we all have a vested interest in the company doing well. But I can tell you this: I am not a marketer. I've never been a marketer. I've never understood marketing. I don't, and it's not something that's in my wheelhouse. I don't do that. So my whole focus is on keeping the software 100% up to date every minute. I'm not putting any extra time into trying to build a downline or do anything for myself. I'm trying to make the company. My whole focus is making things the best it can possibly be, and we're going to give you a little sneak peek. We're going to be offering a package in the very near future. Hassan, should I talk about it or not, about the new package?
I would. If they're internet marketers, so they'll like it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, basically, we're putting a package out where I have some really incredible traders that are as good as Benjamin, that I've put out now that are one that's a newer version, a really new version of a software that I had before that has the artificial intelligence hedging in it as well as a silver trader and an oil trader and all this. And we're going to be offering the whole thing to people, all 4 traders, for about $997 down and $290 a month. But the thing about it is that we're going to be giving away half of that to the person who's building, $500 first order bonus instead of the
$40.
The $40 first order bonus. We're going to be giving $500 for that. So it's going to be a much better building thing. So we're going to get better quality. So my whole point is to go forward with things.
And your crypto trader, don't throw your crypto trader under the bus. Bring it up.
Yep. I have a crypto trader that's really, really, really looking great, and it's just going through a whole bunch of testing right now. But before I put anything out, I always make sure that it is safe, and at least as safe as it could be. And so my whole focus moving forward is to be nothing but a software guy, nothing but a guy that deals with making sure that we're going to be as safe as possible. Obviously, it's a financial market, and Donald Trump could say that we're going to war with China tomorrow, and something could happen. But the fact is that even with something catastrophic, I have a lot of confidence that Benjamin would be able to hedge out of whatever problem we had. And if you look at some of these trades that over this past week during this volatility that Benjamin had, even on these crazy moves, it's still hedged out. And it was, so I don't have any doubt moving forward that we're going to be in in a, not just as good of a position as we are now, but worlds better, because we're going to have multiple choice for the types of software that we can run.
Yeah, and the safety nets that are in place are incredible. Just to really hit really fast, besides the fact that Quicksilver literally watches this thing 24/7, I can't express to you guys how much he's watching the markets, knows the news. He's not just some software guy that was told to program something. He literally is the brains inside the software. So he's not just letting Benjamin or any of the other AIs that are going to come out soon do their thing. He's also looking at the world events, news, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes our customers get mad at us because we turn the software off because they want more trades. But he knows there's going to be a lot of volatility, right? So we're very big on protecting everyone's money and moving forward as well. Just to understand, I'm sure a lot of you know what a stop loss is. If you don't, in the program itself, you'll never risk more than what? What is it, Dave? Like, what is it like?
Well, whatever you choose. We can't basically tell you what to do. You can choose what your maximum amount that you're willing to risk on any trade.
Let's just say they're doing the average conservative. Are they going to blow their account on a bad trade?
No, they will not.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So, yeah.
Wow.
And you guys worked with us, Dan. I know you guys went after just the best lawyers in the space too, for all the legal stuff and protecting the company. And some of these guys just being marketers and knowing the industry well. I mean, you guys have really gone to bat for just making sure you're thinking,
Absolutely, yeah.
Out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not planning on being here 3 to 5 years. We're planning on being here 10, 15, 20. And it's funny because a lot of companies say that, and I'm sure all of you have experienced it, but they always talk about vision and this and long-term and destiny, and we're all going to the Holy Grail, but they never start the setup right. They never build the foundation right. When we got here, me, Dave, and my wife, Candace, who's the president, we're like, look, let's make sure this foundation is built on the ground correctly, so that way when it's time to really just, put the foot on the gas, everyone can scale properly, right? And our lawyers this is their specialty. They specialize with the CFTC, the SEC, the FTC, and the safety guards that we have in place. Let's just say that we are super protected to where we're taken care of. So you can feel confident and just using yourself, right? So yeah. So Paul, if you want to open it up for any questions, I know Quick has a very early morning call tomorrow. I want to make sure he gets to bed so that way he handles it.
Oh, I'm good. Don't worry about me.
We appreciate you hopping on and just sharing, this with us and confirming some things that we currently, know about it. But for those who don't, like, truly, this is it's a blessing to have you on board to be serving us. On that note, I know that I have a few friends here that may have some questions. Drew or Eric or Dan, anyone, do you guys have any questions right now?
So, I mean, for me, the trading side of things makes total sense, and it seems completely genius. I've never done Forex, but most of you guys know I've definitely been in the crypto space for about 7 years now. And so very, very excited for this, honestly. So my question would be more on the marketing side. And just because I haven't seen the back office or anything like that, I know that someone had mentioned something in regards to the funnel. Hassan, I believe that was you earlier. What all tools are kind of in place? Would just kind of like to know on that side of things, obviously, if we're going to be pushing this out to our audiences and whatnot. Absolutely.
So in your back office, Trung, Paul, Gene or Austin can show you there's multiple funnels right there. Right now, there's 2 of them in the back office that Adam created, like I talked about, that are amazing. One is the perfect webinar script. The other one is more of like a VSL. It's like 20 to 30 minutes, still phenomenal. Dave's inside that one as well. We have Spanish ones coming out. We're having them translated actually right now as we speak. And we're also do a live Wednesday call. But what's really cool is that we're also releasing this thing on Wednesdays when you do the live Wednesday call, where if you send somebody your link, it's going to go to the webinar that Adam is doing. And if they right there on the screen, if they're ready to go right there and then, they don't got to hit you up. They just click join now and it's already coded to you. So those are the tools that we have available for everyone. We're working on some more very, very innovative things. Trung and Austin saw a software that we're going to be white labeling and bringing in-house that is going to give everybody this insane, like in the palm of your hand funnel ability where you can send someone a private channel on your phone to like in your content. It's insane. It has like this AI recruiting thing. For me to explain it won't even make sense right now. So just know that you got those tools right now. you have all those resources, and in about another 30 to 45 days, we're going to release something else that is going to completely change the network marketing game. So yeah, I'm very
Are
excited.
you talking about Tom's tool?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you guys are getting it?
Yes, sir.
Nice. That's exciting. So Drew, long story short, really quick, it's kind of like a funnel, but it's way more trackable. So you get a digital, you get a digital card, you send it to someone. They go through there, they have like 3 or 4 options. They pick what they're interested in, whether it be a customer, affiliate, seeing the services work. And your back office tracks every single video they watch, how long they watched it, if they skip through it, and it basically leads them. They could immediately skip all the way to the sign-up process, or they could learn every single inch about the company and then finally get to that point. They can like navigate that map themselves, and you have complete interaction with them. They have an email portion where you can send them things once they've watched something, and it's just super, super interactive. So it's like a funnel times like 10, and it's like a personal business card that people, you just hand out, and they just scan it, or they can just click it, and it has your little photo on it, so they're comfortable with it and everything like that. So it's a really neat system.
I have a question, Trunk. So I know you mentioned funnels and things along those lines. So you guys are kind of going the network marketing approach, but you said Adam Winnick set up the perfect webinar script. So what's like the automation process? So like is the webinar, as soon as they watch the webinar, if they decide to take action on it?
Mm-hmm. So what's really cool is when you send that link to them, it's really exciting. When you send it to them and they're done watching the webinar, as Adam's speaking and he says, all right, now go ahead and click that button below to get started. Right when they click that, it actually redirects them directly to your page. As long as you sent them the link to the webinar, it's coded to you. So it doesn't say click here and it has your name or anything. It's just a button, but that button is
coded to you. And is for like the commission structure, is it
Hey, I was thinking just real quick, Eric, and we can come right back to it. Can we just see,
go ahead.
because we'd love to be able to just focus on like commission and marketing side, but could we just see if anybody has any last like tech software questions for Dave, just so that he can hop off?
Yeah, I'm okay. I could stay on as long as you guys need.
I got some software questions, but I can wait as well. No worries.
I'm good.
Yeah, you can ask those software questions because we can talk about the compensation stuff like all night later.
Okay. Well, it's a couple questions. So real quick, man. You talking about this Platinum Partners hedge fund that you manage, and the New York State Prison pension funds is real stuff. Now, the fact that you're even documented as they call it the smartest. One of the smartest persons in the world. It's a little crazy, I like to say that he is really smart, right? Because I'm smart too, right? But so number one, I just want to ask why? Like, why being in such space that you were in? Was it dark, or like why are you like working with young people? And like why are you presenting this huge opportunity that normal people or I guess in my scenario, I don't know of anyone that's working in such like position to help the little guys. I honestly
I stopped working at the hedge fund to trade for myself a while back, but it's not. I'm going to be, it's not completely, philanthropic. It's more of a position. It's more of a thing that I'll be honest. I can make a lot more money here than I can there, and based on the structure of everything else. But at the same time, I'm going to be making more money. I'm also going to be able to help the masses. So it's not strictly about the money. I've made a lot of money in my life. I could be, I'm very thankful for that. You can, thank God for all of this stuff. I just happen to be, I happen to be in a position to where money is not my first thought in anything that I do. I've got more than enough money for my son and for my family for the rest of my life and for the rest of my kids' life. It's more a matter of, okay, what am I going to do to better my, to make myself a better person, to be a better person in the eyes of my kid, in the eyes of all the other, I just want to be a better person. And I think the idea that I can actually make a phenomenal living, not just a good living, a phenomenal living, helping the average Joe is very, very appealing to me.
Yeah.
He's, al-
Thank
he's,
you.
al-
I
he's also
appreciate
in love with. He's also in love with me. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I think he's in love with Trung more, bro. I don't know.
I don't know. I think Trung is kind of like put on those glasses as kind of a show, because when I was playing ping pong with him, he was not wearing glasses at all.
You know, it's funny. He legit, I remember the day he got them. He started working at a car dealership selling cars, and my brother and him both went out to grab a pair of $160 fake glasses because they said, by default, people trust us more and think we're smarter. And so for that reason,
Hey, how many cars did I sell?
oh, bro.
Awesome. Okay, and then question about the software. So, I'm not familiar with the software. So, is it coding based, or do you code some part of it? And then also, as far as the AI, like how is AI installed in this case? And
Well, look, I have my coders that actually do the programming. I don't program anything myself. I write the algorithms, and I have my team of coders that actually work with me that I don't do anything without. That actually do the implementation of the AI into the coding. Now, here's the thing. And even if I had that, I wouldn't be so dumb as to give away any trade secrets as to what I do. The Benjamin is the only AI software, hedging software that I know of that's even on the market. So I wouldn't be giving away any of that stuff. So no, but yes, it's all done via my coders within the software, and it's totally self-contained. So
wow. Okay, so thank you for that. And then just to reiterate, so this software, it really is one of a kind. Like you're saying, is like the Apple iPhone sort of thing, or the Intel, core like chip at the beginning of the company.
Yeah, I mean, look, at one point the Apple was the only touchscreen smartphone out there, and so yeah, I think eventually there's going to be other AI softwares out there, and I think what really separates us, even if there were other ones out there, I like to think that because I take a real interest in the market, and I'm actually a kind of a market geek.
Yeah.
I will turn off the traders in the event that I think that there's even a small chance the traders could have long drawn out trades. And I'm not worried about the losses. I'm worried about people getting into long drawn out trades, because once somebody gets into a long drawn out trade, it's only going to break even anyway. Benjamin's going to hedge it out. It's going to break even. So why put people through the misery of watching a negative trade for hours on end when I can just turn the trader off and take all the risk out of play just by shutting it off on my end. So yes, I think what separates it is not just Benjamin. It's that there's actually an Overwatch that's
Right.
seeing things.
Right. So thank you. And so and then just to reiterate again, so the software where it's at right now, I mean, it should only get better, right? I mean, there's no way there's going to be a storm and then everything collapses. Like it's actually quite opposite, right?
Right.
I as well.
Yeah, because I actually, I don't want to say anything, but Hassan knows it clearly that I have another software that I've installed the same hedging function as Benjamin, except a software that actually takes much larger profits on each chunk. So as soon as I get the details and all the little bits of coding done on it, and it runs through some tests, that's going to be released to the field, and it's actually going to surpass Benjamin's earning potential. So it's
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Wow. And then so just I'm taking 2 steps back now. As far as the software, what was my question? I forgot my question. Never mind. But
I am that good looking. Yes.
Yeah, no, I love to meet you, man. No, that was I guess that was my question. The other one was not been important, but that is just amazing. Oh yeah, okay. Legalization. So as far because this is so new, it's kind of like crypto. It was so new, and then the government kind of got into it. They placed their hand all over the place. Do you think? I mean, of course, when this becomes famous, because this company is really gonna make this thing famous. How is the software looking into AI, especially with like investing? Would it take it just as another business, or are you worried about that, or should we like expect something from them looking
Well,
into this?
let me put it to you like this. The Forex market is not like crypto in that it has been around forever. It has been around for, in the futures market, the currency exchange has been around since the 60s. And when you're looking at the Forex market, it's a $5.3 trillion industry. So it's not something that that's going to go away ever. You can go in if you know the MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms that Benjamin and the other softwares trade on. It's run by a company called MetaQuotes. And what happens is you can go onto their website and go to the website called MQL5, which is what their website is. And when you go there, you will literally see hundreds of thousands, if not a million, auto traders out there that are out there for use. Now, every single one of these are legitimate traders. They all lose, but they're all legitimate traders. My point is that the government has no problem with automatic trading. There's never been a problem, nor will there ever be. There are millions of EAs, which is, expert advisors. There are millions of automatic trading softwares out there, millions of them. But, it's just the government understands that, hey, if people want to take their risk and trade with the EAs, they can. It's nothing new.
And because the trades are individual to each person's account, the brokers don't recognize that we're trading with, like, if we scale to hundreds of thousands of people, they're not going to recognize that all the people are using the same software.
Right. It's people, they're just going to realize that, each person could have their own EA that's making their own independent trades, and it's not coming in at the exact same time because no two people are going to get the same trade. So that's a really good thing on your side. You're not going to be flagged by the broker. You're not going to get hit. We're not going to get hit by the CFTC because they're saying that the software is mirror trading or anything like that.
Yeah, can you take a step into mirror trading real quick? Because I've actually seen other companies. This is the first network marketing driven company I've seen with not only just the product that we have, right, but the fact that most of these other companies I've seen actually did do mirror trading for a while, which is completely illegal. Quick, can you just hop into that real quick and what that looks like? Like, if people don't know what it is and why.
Mirror trading is basically when you have one particular trade that is made by either a trader or it could be a computer making the trade, but usually it's a specific trader that makes a trade and then pushes the trade signal out to everybody's system. So everybody gets the same trade at the same time, and it goes into the market at the same time. Two things that are terrible about that. One, it's illegal for a network marketing company to have that. But two, the broker is going to see the same trade over and over again, and they're going to decline the trades, or they're not going to be able to have enough liquidity to get you out of the trade once you're in there because the hedges are all going to be taken up. So mirror trading is not only illegal, it's not accurate, it's not productive because you're at the mercy of the person who sent the signal to also send a signal for the hedge. And who knows if the guy's not a maniac. And it's so you just need to, you need to really be careful with that stuff. I mean, and just let me stress it again. It's illegal to have mirror trading system. So, we comply with every law that's set forth. We have our attorneys, check everything before we do it. And we make sure that we are completely compliant.
That was good. Dave, just because we've heard it through the grapevine, could you close with, it'd be fun to hear it from you, but with the IQ test that you took, it really puts you like around the top 100 in the world?
Yeah, it's actually, it's not, I have a 182 IQ. I'm in the 93rd percentile, not now, but in the history of the test. In the history, I took it, I took the test, and it was a certified test, and it's so when I got the test back, it came back as, at the time when I took it, it was somewhere around I think 80 something, and then there's been a couple of people in there that actually beat me out lately, but but right now I'm sitting at 93 until other people die, and then I'll get better.
God's highest form of creation, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was definitely a lot of stuff I lacked, but I was given brains. That's about the best thing I could say. There are certain things I can do, certain things I can't, but I'm happy with my brains.
Yeah, like that one time we were talking, and I could not believe that you were being serious when you said you like your Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah, I like my Mountain Dew, and I have like one of these weird like mental things where I remember every joke that's ever been told to me. So I like so I don't.
Both a blessing and a curse, I'm assuming, depending
on.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, you're blessing a lot of people, man. Thank you, Dave, for all your efforts in building this thing out and making it available and making yourself available, being on with us for over an hour right now and still being down to talk. I mean, it's really cool, man.
Oh, I have no problem. I'm a nerd. I'm not doing anything. So.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Asking questions, putting your time, giving us the opportunity to run this as well. I just feel super blessed. I know these guys for a while. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you, but I just feel like blessed. I'm like, Lord, thank you for having Quicksilver just be with us and allow us to help a lot more people with them. And trust, you're in my prayers. I'm not lying. You guys can laugh, but I appreciate it. So
yeah.
I appreciate it. We can use all the help we can get. We'll never turn down prayers, please.
Well,
All right, thanks,
do you want to go back, Eric? If you want to pick up with that commission question, would be cool. Dave.
Sure, I'll make it quick because I gotta hop off in a second. Basically, I was just gonna ask. So he was talking about eventually you guys are gonna do a $500 commission payout, which is like 50%. For like a start bonus. So I'm just trying to think, like, is this something that's going to be able to be like automated with paid advertisement, or is it more so
Absolutely,
kind of like
absolutely
organically?
Anything you want to do, Eric. Anything you want to do. It's going to be counted as 3 customers in your business. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with the rewards plan. Candace and I wrote it, and usually the auto ship is $145 a month per software. So that's 1 customer in your business. With this, it's going to be $297. So it'll be worth 3 customers in your business. So even on like the comp plan part for building a team, it's going to be massive to bring in more people. But if you're going to run traffic, it's really good for cold traffic because it'll give you that ability to spend money to make even more money. That makes sense.
What are the, aside from the building, like what are the front end commissions? Because you said 50% on the higher ticket, but how about because you said that's not rolling out immediately on the initial launch, like what's the front end commissions?
Correct. So the front end on the $199, which it is right now, it's $40. And then the actual compensation plan, if you're familiar with it, is a 3x9 matrix hybrid with a weekly residual rank. It's the most aggressive thing in network marketing. It's not just my opinion. Every single attorney and the best comp plan writer named Josh Fair, who writes the best comp plans, said it himself. It's very modern, very sleek. But more importantly, I think the most important thing about it is that some people, especially 7- and 8-figure earners, when they look at it, they ask us how we can pay out so much money, not implode. What's really cool is there's this thing called the pressure tester. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of it. The guy created it just like Dave had a code to create his algorithm. This guy had a software that goes around making sure people's algorithmic comp plans don't implode over 5 years, 10 years. They don't pay out too much money. Somebody hits the ring too fast. All of these little mathematical matters. Our comp plan never imploded. And because it never imploded, we also threw a matrix on top of it where you can literally make, if you fill all your spots, up to 80 grand a month, literally with never ranking up. And that's not even the main way you get paid. So it's very, very lucrative.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I remember when we were at the event, in like September or something, you guys came out to Portland. You were saying at one point you guys had this comp plan set. You're like, this is like phenomenal. And actually, one of your advisors ran that test or whatever, and he's like, dude, you guys should actually pay out more.
Correct. Exactly. It's crazy. We're like, dude, I think this is we want people to sleep, Josh. So it worked out perfect.
Let me just run you guys through just a few of these real quick. And then like Hassan was saying, you got the matrix layered on top of this and then upfront bonus. But this is the residual, really aggressive and definitely cool having a product this good and this cheap. But you got, so starting with 3 people that you bring on, if you got 3 enrollments, you're getting the software for free. So you're trading for free. At 12 people, you're making $600 a month. So these are, every week you're getting paid out. So with 12 people, so you build 3 legs, 3 teams with this comp plan, $600 for 12 people, and then just continues to scale. Like at only 35 people, you're already making closer to 2,000 a month, including the matrix. And then, at around 90 people, you're already doing, around 4,000 or so a month with this bonus and then the matrix, and then continues to grow from there. So with some of you guys that know how to do internet marketing and bring on a lot of people, looking at some of these bigger numbers are really attractive. Probably the best comp plan you've seen just about anywhere. And obviously this being a service-based company, they can make this work. But I think for all of us, like coming back to network marketing, it's just cool actually knowing that you retain people, that if you're going to put in the work to do sales and you're going to bring people on, if they get set up to trade and they're making money, they're not going anywhere. So it actually feels good that you're retaining people month to month. And I feel like building a real business as opposed to like all the MLMs that we've seen before. It's just not the same. It's just a sales business, sales job, like pretty much month after month, just replacing people. And so having software that works this well, you look at these numbers and you can see how naturally you could grow to a pretty sick income. Like even if you put in the effort initially and people are doing it and doing well, it's going to grow. So
the other thing I wanted to bring up was that it's not something that people would feel uncomfortable with. For example, if you're sitting back and you put money into your trade account and you're making money, why wouldn't you tell your father, your mother, your sisters, your brothers, anybody that you want to make money? Because it's not like you're trying to sell them pills, potions, credit repair, or something else. You're telling them, hey, just put a couple $100 in your account and see what, just use it as a retirement account. Do this, do that. I mean, it's going to help them in the future. And the other thing about it is you bring in 3, your software is free. So people will be motivated to bring in more people. So it's kind of an easier sell than a lot of other,
easiest sell.
Yeah. So.
Quick question, Hassan, since we were chatting about marketing a second ago, are you guys going to be throwing together another Perfect Webinar once this new package comes out? Because obviously Perfect Webinar is really, really good for anything, over $597 a sale. And so we're just kind of curious if that would be coming down the pipe too.
Absolutely. As soon as we're done releasing that package, Quicksilver and Adam are going to record a new webinar specific for that price point, and it will be in the back office.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Nice. Anybody have anything else?
Well, I just want to say, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. I'll do my due diligence. I'm sure Paul will send me some information, but I actually have to hop off. It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you.
See you, Eric.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
See you, brother.
Appreciate you guys so much.
Hey, bro.
Bless you, bro. Good night, man.
Take it easy, Eric.
All right. Any last questions, guys? Or are we all good? Is that a wrap?
Good for me.
Good to go. I mean,
Drew, stoked you like it, bro. This could be sick running thing, man.
Yo, Austin was just telling me how much he's been wanting to work with you, Drew. So really.
Oh yeah, last question. Is this open? What countries is this open in? Like, can I go down to Mexico and help my?
Go ahead, Dave.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Jason.
We're in every single country except for some parts in India and the Philippines and Iraq because of high fraud. But because we're a digital product, you can sell 1 million customers anywhere you want.
So we're already in over 40 countries right now.
Wow. Okay, I see the picture.
From Southeast Asian countries, bro. They love their network marketing companies, truly.
Oh, I love the fact that in Colombia and things like that, where if you can get someone $600 a month on the comp plan, that's a life changer in a lot of these countries. So I mean, you're talking about the ability to change lives in a huge way in some of these countries.
Yeah, I'm in Cabo, and I have only spent for the last like 2.5 weeks, I think maybe like $400. And that's me being lavish. That's me going and eating like tacos like 3 times a day.
I don't think anyone realizes how much Trung eats on a consistent basis. Like, I'm not,
I noticed he was really, really fat when I saw him.
Yeah, I mean that's an accurate observation. Hey, I've been doing sit-ups out here, so like I'm taking care of myself.
So you're doing sit-ups and eating tacos 3 times a day. So that
Yeah,
doesn't seem like.
Yeah, no, and I just realized that too. Like I sit here on the computer all the time, and I'm like, man, the only time I do any exercise is to get into the car to drive to the taco joint. I'm like, man, I really don't do any exercise except stand out in the sun and like I did some squats and stuff like that, but that's about it.
Yo, and a quick fun fact for those who really just to close up some loose ends. Quicksilver is really athletic too, and he can also dunk. Played college ball, at least football.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, with Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
So if any of you like felt like you just needed that extra push, I mean, there it is.
Yeah. I used to be a very good football player when I was closer to your guys' age.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's so cool. All right, guys.
Company trips. We'll get some good games and stuff going.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention for the new people. I mean, Drew, if you're interested, just this month, if you just enroll 10 people, then they will take care of a cruise trip to the Bahamas with the leadership squad in January. So just something to keep planting seeds is basically all I was saying.
Something like that.
Yeah, you get 10. You get 10 sales. You go on a ship, and I'm teaching people on the ship an easy trade strategy that's going to easily be able to make you a ton of money just manually trading for an hour a day, and it's going to be super, super easy for you guys.
So you're
basically you teach us how to dunk too.
No, because I right now the rim is blocking me. I can't dunk anymore now. I'm done.
Basically, you're losing money if you don't go on the cruise.
Yeah.
True.
Dang.
Well, gentlemen, I got to get off, gentlemen. I really appreciate meeting all of you guys. If you have any questions, I'm more than sure Trung, Gene, Austin, or Paul can answer them. If not, please connect me on Facebook. I appreciate everyone's time. Thanks for getting on. I got to hop up. Thanks, Dave, for getting on.
Thanks, guys.
Prove my skill.
Yeah, thank you too, Dave.
No problem.
I guess we're all hopping off. Just get your spacesuits ready.
So nothing else?
No, we're good. Thank you, Quick. I'm going to stick around and throw game signs.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Adios.
Vaya con Dios.
Right when Madison's